Hello everyone, let me introduce you to Henri O'Reilly, and the poster you've just looked at there is to do with the annual turning of the Sovereign Seal ceremony, which is held in the Mansion House in Dublin, 12 noon, January 21st. The next one will be the 93rd turning. Harry, can you explain to us please what this is all about?
Okay, on January the 21st at noon in the Mansion House, 2012, it'll be the 93rd turning of the Sovereign Seal. This has been turned for 93 years. This will be the 93rd year. And what it means is that the Sovereign Seal, I think there's a growing interest in what the Sovereign Seal is. Most people are aware of what it is now. It's to do with our sovereignty. Billy Maguire, his family, set up the Sovereign Republic of Éire in 1919, January the 21st, 1919. Everybody became sovereign. People, citizens, call it what you wish, but people, essentially, we all became sovereign on the record on that day, on the 21st of January 1919, when the Maguire family set up the Sovereign Republic of Éire, the Dáil Éireann and Dáil Éireann courts.
And Harry, can I ask you a question there? Now when you say they set it up in accordance with something very particular, and they set it up in a very particular fashion.
Yeah, it was set up exactly in verbatim with in accordance with the 1916 proclamation. The Maguire family funded the 1918 election, the 32 county election of Ireland, and what happened then was they established on the record Ireland as a sovereign nation, sovereign Dáil and sovereign courts. The Oireachtas was set up afterwards by King George V in 1922, and it brought the Oireachtas and both houses of the Oireachtas under the remit of King George V, because it was King George V in 1922, 1922 established the Oireachtas under the Crown, and both houses of the Oireachtas, which are not sovereign entities.
And Harry, can I ask you now, as far as most people are concerned today, the Oireachtas that exists today, so are you saying that is exactly the same entity, if you will, as, you know, because there was the new constitution, of course, we were told, that was in 37, Bunreagan Heron. So you're saying that the Oireachtas that exists today is exactly the same entity?
Yeah, nothing has changed. It's still the same. Nothing has changed. It's only a provisional government established under the Crown by King George V after his census in 1911. He put his foot on the soil. His heir and successor, Elizabeth II, within that 100-year period, had put her foot on the soil after his census in 2011. The census didn't have a sovereign seal on it. People refer to the sovereign seal as a harp, but sovereign seal harp. There was no sovereign seal harp on the census, yet people were coerced into filling this form in and returning it to the Statistic Office, which is a construct under the Oireachtas.
So Harry, there's also some information that was broadcast by Billy Maguire today, which by the way is the 4th of the 11th, 2011 AD, if anybody's interested. And today he was explaining to people on TNS Radio, for example, that unless the word Éire is underneath the sovereign seal, it does not allow for the 32 counties. That once Éire and the sovereign seal are together, that denotes the 32 counties. Can you just talk a little bit on that?
Well, for example, if you go into a court, which is a prime example, if you go into a court, what must be over the Brehm's head is the sovereign seal with Éire underneath. Éire is under the Trinity, Sisters of Sovereignty. There are three sisters of sovereignty: Fola, Éire and Bamba. The country is named Éire after one of the three sisters of sovereignty, and that sovereign seal is to be suspended and over the judge's head. If you enter a court and it doesn't have the 30-string sovereign seal with Éire underneath it. It is not a sovereign court. It had no business being in it. So people are unwittingly contracting with courts and rendering themselves redundant as the sovereign, unknowingly and unwittingly.
So Harry, are you saying that when they go into a court, unless that the judge is adhering to, not only just sitting below the sovereign seal of 13 strings with Éire underneath it, but unless he's actually adhering to that, he is basically operating under the Oireachtas, which, as you've explained, it happens to be, and Billy Maguire said today as well, as a crown corporation under what was set up by King George in 1922, his heirs and assigns and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, a state registered corporation under a larger estate under the crown. That's essentially what it is. And they don't have the lawful authority to take taxes, make appointments, or appoint a judiciary. That they don't have the lawful authority to do that. And this is the crucial facts that people need to know today.
Okay, can I ask you another question, Harry? Just we've a couple of minutes left on this video. I just wanted you to cover this. The situation when De Valera, in particular, I wanted to get to. There was a situation when I believe the surname was Plant.
Plant, yeah.
What was his first name?
Was it George?
George Plant. The execution of George Plant. When De Valera apparently signed that execution, it did have the sovereign seal and it had Éire on it. And De Valera apparently, or seemingly, felt he had the authority to do so because he was an original member of Dáil Éireann.
Yeah.
Now, even though he hadn't attended the turning of the sovereign seal ceremonies, so he was actually doing so ultra vires. In other words, actually, he condemned that man to death without the correct authority in alignment. Is that basically the way that works out?
Yeah, they should witness the turning of the sovereign seal every year, and members of the Chief Justice, the Count Corla, and the Taoiseach should witness the turning of the sovereign seal.
In fact, I believe it's mandatory for them to show up.
Mandatory, because they must witness this turning the sovereign seal, which validates their office, and they must witness the validation of their office.
Now, last year, Harry, and the year before, there was another man present who was an Indian gentleman. Can you explain to us, to the people, about the connection with India?
India. Well, you see, the Maguire family, Martin Maguire, who were very good friends with John F. Kennedy, and President Geary, the fourth president of India. So the Indian delegation must attend the turning of the sovereign seal of Mansion House every year, and they do, because the president of India was also a member of the Sovereign Republic of Éire, which the Irish Republican Brotherhood set up. This was nothing to do with any other organisation. It was the Sovereign Republic of Éire who set this up, and this is how India got to independence, and it was all obtained from Vaughan's Hotel. Number 29 Vaughan's Hotel is where the sovereignty of this country derived.
And Vaughan's Hotel is where, Harry?
It's in Parnell Square.
Granby Row and Parnell Square, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit up from the Teachers Club.
Now, that building is in a dilapidated state at the moment, Harry.
Yeah.
Even though Billy today was explaining that the man, apparently he was being elected as the President of Ireland, the 26th County Republic, if you will, even though it's not really a republic, he asked him apparently to take it in hand and to sort it out and to restore it, and he apparently refused and said he didn't actually care about the sovereignty of the people, and yet that man apparently has become president.
Apparently, yeah. He also signed a legal directive that prohibited farmers and turf gutters from making a living from the land, which is a total violation of not only their sovereign right, but also a constitutional right. So,
well, Harry, look, that's we're at 10 minutes now. I just want this to go out on YouTube as it is, a 10-minute video, no cuts, no breaks. I'd say thank you very much to everybody for listening, and we're going to do another video now, a follow-up video now. Harry, just before we cut off, can you say what the follow-up video we're going to do?
The following video we're going to do is solution stroke remedy in relation to mortgage or debt repayments. Okay, because what we're witnessing here is another orchestrated famine situation.
Okay, and we'll cover that in the next
We'll
video.
cover that in the next clip. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you for listening, everybody. Please rate and comment, and don't forget to share and download. And please visit tnsradio.ning.com and Harry,
WeThePeople.ie.
and WeThePeople.ie. Thank you very much.